My cousin told the whole family. I forged our grandfather's signature to buy his farm. He forgot the county clerk. Recorded every property signing. My grandfather owned a small family farm that had been in our family for over 50 years. By the time he turned 83, he could no longer keep up with the work, and every weekend I'd drive out to help repair fences, maintain the tractors, clear irrigation ditches, and harvest whatever needed harvesting. My cousin Derek almost never visited unless there was a holiday or family barbecue. Grandpa never complained about it, but he definitely noticed. About 18 months before he passed away, he asked if I'd be interested in buying the farm, instead of letting strangers own it one day. I told him I'd only do it if everything was completely legal, completely transparent, and completely fair. We hired an independent appraiser, agreed on a price, and completed the sale through a real estate attorney. Grandpa insisted on making every decision himself because, as he liked to say, if I'm signing my name, I'm reading every word. Nobody questioned the sale while Grandpa was alive. Everything changed after his funeral. Derek suddenly started telling relatives that I'd tricked Grandpa into signing away the farm while he was too old to understand the paperwork. According to him, I'd stolen property that should have been inherited equally by the entire family. The story spread faster than I ever imagined. Relatives I'd spent every Christmas and Thanksgiving with started calling to ask why I'd do something so selfish. One aunt even suggested I undo the deal before the family completely fell apart. It was frustrating because everyone seemed to have an opinion, yet almost nobody had actually seen a single legal document. Overnight, years of trust disappeared because one person sounded confident enough to make his story believable. I tried explaining the sale had happened long before Grandpa became seriously ill. Nobody listened. Derek repeated the same accusations over and over, and eventually people stopped questioning them. My attorney finally asked me one simple question. Has anyone actually requested the county property records? I hadn't. There had never been a reason to. He immediately ordered certified copies from the county clerk's office. About a week later, the complete file arrived. It included the purchase agreement, the independent appraisal, the payment confirmation, the notarized deed, every signature, every filing date, every official record connected to the sale. Then we found something even more important. The county required property transfers, involving elderly sellers to be completed in person before a county clerk, who verified both identity and willingness to sign. The clerk had documented the entire appointment. Grandpa arrived alone, presented his driver's license, answered every required legal question himself, confirmed multiple times that selling the farm was entirely his own decision. The clerk even wrote in the notes that Grandpa joked about finally retiring from repairing broken fences and waking up before sunrise every morning. During the family mediation meeting, my attorney placed the certified records on the table one document at a time. Nobody interrupted. Nobody argued. Then he read the county clerk's verification aloud. Every accusation Derek had made depended on Grandpa being manipulated. The official records proved the exact opposite. Grandpa had completed every step voluntarily, without me speaking for him, without me answering a single question, without anyone pressuring him. The room stayed completely silent for almost a full minute. Finally, Derek admitted he'd never looked at the county records before accusing me. He'd simply convinced himself Grandpa would never have sold the farm unless someone forced him. He wasn't relying on evidence. He was relying on assumptions. And once he'd convinced himself they were true, he never bothered checking the facts. A few months later, Derek stopped by the farm while I was repairing one of the old barns. He apologized for everything and admitted the real reason he'd been so angry. He wasn't upset because Grandpa sold me the property. He was upset because he'd quietly assumed the farm would eventually become his, even though he'd barely visited during Grandpa's last 10 years and had never once told Grandpa he actually wanted to run it. That conversation changed both of us. Now every fall, Derek brings his kids to the farm for the harvest festival we started in Grandpa's memory. They're learning to drive the same old tractor Grandpa taught me on, and every time I watch them laughing in those fields, I realize Grandpa's biggest goal was never deciding who owned the farm. It was making sure the farm stayed part of the family. Looking back, I realized Grandpa didn't simply sell me a piece of land. He trusted me with something much bigger. Owning the farm was never about having my name on the deed. It was about protecting the place that held our family's history, so the next generation could build memories there too. Would you have forgiven Derek after he accused you without checking the facts, or kept your distance, yes or no?